Hello, how are you today? Slightly later than usual today because I was out and about this morning so I decided to reschedule till 1. So thank you for those of you that have rearranged to be able to come and listen in live. You're very, very welcome. And yeah, to all those of you watching the replay as well, it won't affect you because it will be available whenever you want to watch it. So welcome to Weekly Wildlife Wisdom. This is my third in a trilogy all about my latest piece, which I'm thrilled to show you. I've now completed. I know you probably can't see it too well. I'm just gonna let you. I'm going to try because it's very difficult to do this when you're at the same side of the camera. So hopefully you can just about see them there. So we've got the adder in a figure 8 and then the unicorn, and then at the bottom we have the lion, who I literally just finished working on yesterday. And I've added my signature, which you might see bottom left as you're viewing at it, because it's obviously in reverse. So this is my piece. I still haven't landed a name for it. They normally film, well, they do come in sort of as guidance to me, but that hasn't arrived yet, so I'm waiting patiently for it. But I wanted to talk today, as you probably know, about lion wisdom and how that specifically fits into this particular piece. Lions are very, very close to my heart, and I know they will be with a lot of you because they are magnificent beings and they have so much to teach us. Today what I want to do is keep it relatively simple with lion, because I want to tie it into this piece so that you get the understanding. But there's a lot about lions, and I did do a lion wisdom over a year ago. So again, as I say with all of these, I'll probably do another one fairly soon to give you a bit more about lions. But for today, what I wanted to share with you is that last week we looked at unicorn, and we were talking about how the unicorn represents sacred feminine, and that's not about gender, it's about energy. And we all have feminine energy within us, just as we have masculine energy as well. And today the lion is looking at the sacred masculine energy, which of course is within us too. So it's how they fit together, really. If you haven't already, if you haven't watched my unicorn wisdom or my adder, which is the snake wisdom, the previous 2 weeks, then I would, if you're interested and this makes sense to you, I'd recommend you watch those as well. You'll be able to find those on my grid as replays. That will explain more if you're watching this for the first time. So welcome everybody. Morning, Susie. Very early morning for you. Not as early as normal, is it for you, Susie? And Helen and Heather. And who else have we got? Dawn. Hello everybody. It's lovely to have you here. So yeah, let's look at this idea of the lions. Now, with the unicorn, we were looking at the sacred feminine, and with the lion, we're looking at the sacred masculine, and this is associated with gold and the sun. They are solar beings, whereas the unicorn is associated with silver and the moon. So they are lunar beings, which again is beautiful and aligns perfectly with nature and nature's laws. And also with lions, they are predatory in nature. It's part of who they are, to be hunters and to predate on other species. And so with the unicorn, they are much more, they are completely non-predatory. So again, you've got this difference in energy. And as humans, we might assign good or bad against those labels, but in the truth of nature, it is a balance. And when we bring sacred feminine and sacred masculine together in balance and harmony, it's like the yin and yang, and it's like the middle path, if you like, the way to go in order to live in harmony. So that's what I'm going to delve into a little bit. So unfortunately, our species have distorted a lot of truth into forms that serve their own self-serving purpose. And I did mention this last week in Unicorn Wisdom. And so a lot of the things that we've unconsciously learnt are actually flipped about on their head. And it's the same with lions. Whereas lions they're not always, but they can be depicted as being very aggressive, violent, forceful, dominating. And whilst they're hunting, of course, they can use their power in order to secure food for themselves. But the truth of who they really are is that they are the most magnificent sovereign beings that live in prides, and they have their own beautiful way of living in harmony in their natural environment. And so the sacred masculine is so important, I think, in today's world, for many different reasons. The masculine energy has been perceived for many years as the dominant superior force by many, not by all, but by many. And with the reverse of that polarity, now what we're seeing is a lot of backlash to that, but flipping it the other way, saying that masculine energy is evil, it's bad, it's, all masculine energy is not good, all men are not good, which of course has just polarised it the opposite way round. And so when we talk about the unicorn feminine and the lion masculine, we talk about it in its sacred form, when one is in alignment with the other. So we talked last week about the unicorn being the still, receptive, intuitive part of ourself that can connect to something greater than us. Well, the lion, then, with the sacred masculine, listens and honours this wisdom, this guidance that's been received from that part of ourselves, and protectively and in balance serves to create the physical manifestation of that guidance that we've been given through our feminine intuitive wisdom. And I mentioned it in the unicorn talk last week, that we've often got that flipped round in our modern society, where we let the masculine doing physical productivity, busyness come in as the dominant force, rather than serving in divine honour the feminine wisdom that comes through our intuitive capabilities, which we all have. We just to varying degrees have lost contact with it, and we can reconnect with it so that we can receive that information from a source bigger than ourselves, and then use our sacred masculine energy to bring about the physical actions, the words, the communication, the giving to others of our talents and our unique gifts, so that we can be of genuine service to the all in whatever way we are here to serve. So I hope that makes sense. I'm sort of falling over my words a little bit today. So first and foremost, we listen in to the intuitive wisdom, and then secondly, we engage our inner lion, the part of us that resonates with the sovereignty of the lion, to bring about guided action, to increase and to bring harmony and balance and love and compassion into the world. And that is the truth of certainly the Celtic traditions, but also the truth of a lot of the First Nations peoples around the world, which to me, you know, astonishes and amazes me, because, you know, eons ago we weren't in contact, we weren't able to fly and see each other, and yet when we look back on the historic information held from these ancient peoples, there is such a tight understanding and overlap with the beliefs of how nature's laws, when we fall into alignment with them, allows us to be one with nature and to stay in balance and to bring about beautiful harmony in the world. And I think I probably speak for most people in saying I think we could do with a lot more of that in our world right now, from humanity. So that is it really, that I wanted to say about lion energy today. I thought I'd keep it short and sweet, because I did say a lot last week in the unicorn wisdom. So I don't want to go over things that I've already talked about from last week. So there you are. I'd love to ask you guys if you have any ideas or suggestions or anything that pops in about the suitable name for this piece. I'd love to hear from you. I've been asking for guidance on what the title, the name should be. So I will obviously first and foremost listen to my intuition, but what I've been doing is writing down things. Oh, Helen's got to go. Fish and chips. Oh, lovely. Enjoy. Thank you for being here, Helen. Susie saying this makes sense. Great. Thank you, Susie. I'm glad it does. So anything, any feelings that you have or anything that pops to mind, I'd love to hear it, because I've sort of been writing things down and just leaving them on a page and asking before I go to sleep for some assistance with the name. So that would be really helpful. Likewise, if you can't think of anything or it doesn't come to you, don't worry about it, but I would love to get your input on this. So yeah, and one other thing about the lion is also it's a very protective force, and the protection is around honouring and respecting the feminine guidance that's coming in from source. And again, you can see how different that is to a lot of the models that we see being lived in the world today, where it is the twisted patriarchy that is very much in control, and you will also see the twisted matriarchy as well in all its horrible permutations as well. So we're talking about here returning back to balance, purity. There's a lot of consideration there about morally serving the all rather than self-serving, and honouring our ancestors and honouring this wisdom that is available to us all when we tune in and allow ourselves to become servants, if you like, to this beautiful ancient wisdom, and to let our own skills and talents come out and to be shared with the world. So there you are. I'm going to leave it there. So thank you so much for joining me today at this infinite serenity. Oh, that's beautiful, Susie. I love that. Thank you. That's gorgeous. That's really hit me when I read that. Thank you very much. I love that. I'm going to write that down whilst it's still there so I don't forget. Infinite serenity. That's beautiful. I'd love to hear everybody else's thoughts as well. So thank you, Susie. That's stunning. And yeah, I will be back, all being well, next week, which is the 22nd of March. Back to my normal time of 10 a.m. UK time, and I think there's been time zone changes in America that will perhaps mean that you guys are an hour ahead of us, because I don't think we change our times until the end of March, so we go forward at the end of March. So Anyway, sending you lots of love. I hope you've enjoyed hearing about the adder, the unicorn and the lion. I'd love to hear from you, your reflections, your reactions, your ideas for this, naming this piece, and any requests you have for future weekly wildlife wisdoms as well. So my next job is to get this piece off the board and get my lovely framer to create a beautiful mount for it, because it's soft pastel. It needs a mount to keep it away from the glass in the frame that it will go into. So I shall keep you posted on that. And yeah, very excited to finally have completed it. It was an absolute joy to co-create with these amazing beings. Oh, thank you, Susie. It's my pleasure. Sending you lots of love, everybody. Take good care of yourselves and see you very soon. Bye for now.